All right, ladies, gentlemen, they, thems, gender neutrals, pan, whatchuals, everybody. Love y'all. Great to see you. Thank you for being here with me tonight. We're going to be talking about something that, we've been talking about this for a long time, a really long time. And I kind of want to put this to bed. I want to put this to rest. Everybody seems to have an opinion about this. And we've been talking about it for literal decades. We're going to look into this because with new information that seems to have come forward, particularly the fact that he is included in these files. Now, I want to let you guys know, now that I know the things that I know, I'm not going to be saying the name of the dude with the files. We're going to be calling them like the E-files or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to get hit here again and go another week without being able to hang out with y'all and kick it. It bummed me out. Like, I was a riddle roamer, you guys. I didn't like it at all. But first, I want to check on this poll. If anybody has not voted in the poll yet, vote in this poll. Right now, it's a kind of a cool number. It was, at least. Yeah, we're going to end it right now. 69% of the people believe that Michael Jackson did not touch no chitlins. So we're going to take a look at the stuff that I have to present today. And then we're gonna talk about it again. Maybe we'll run the same poll and we'll see, what people come to. Before we jump into this, I do want to say, man, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for riding out with me. This is what I do to be able to socialize. This is what I enjoy. I have a good time kicking it with y'all, and I miss it when I can't do it. We do ship merch out to Canada. So if you want to get yourself a Make Pedophiles Afraid Again hat, a Crusades 2.0 shirt, hat, hoodie, tank top, any of the above, we absolutely do ship to Canada. And thank you, Dr. Dre Light. I am pinning the website to be able to get merch right there as the top comment. And I want to say, Martinez, cool girl, thank you so much, sis. It's so good to see you. Huge love and respect to you. Thank you for starting off our live tonight with a super cool donation. And I love your profile picture. The Chihuahua smoking is absolutely lit. Mark, great to see you, man. I'm glad that you made it to the live. I love you, bro. God bless you and your family as well. So we are going to be looking today, first and foremost, at a viral thing that's floating around that pretty much everybody is talking about. This is a video of Macaulay Culkin talking about Michael Jackson stopping him from getting taken to the island with E. Let's go.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
What if the story we were told was flipped upside down? For decades, the world labeled Michael Jackson as the villain. Court cases, headlines, documentaries, the narrative felt final. But online, a different theory quietly circulates. Some believe Neverland wasn't a place of harm, but a shield, a private sanctuary meant to distance young celebrities from powerful circles later connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Uncomfortable thought, right? Stay with me. Supporters highlight how Macaulay Culkin consistently defended him in interviews. They also mention how he reportedly advised artists like Britney Spears during vulnerable moments in their careers. Was he simply misunderstood or standing against something bigger? And here's a detail people often bring up. Authorities searched his home extensively for a long period. According to official reports, no concrete evidence of wrongdoing was found during those raids, yet public opinion had already shifted. So the question remains, was this a tragic fall shaped by media storms, or is the internet connecting dots that don't truly connect? Important reminder, these are unproven theories, not confirmed facts. Real truth requires verified evidence, not viral threads.
I'll never forget.
Now, it's funny that they would say that. It requires evidence because this video to me, and let me know what you guys think, this video right here in the beginning, this seems like AI to me. This just seems like, I don't know that Macaulay Culkin really said this.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
What if the
So I have actually looked it up. There is no verification anywhere of Macaulay Culkin making that public statement. So I don't actually believe that he made that statement. But when fact checking a lot of the other stuff in that video, a lot of it does ring true. I also want to look at some of the other kids that were the closest to Michael, what they say, because we never want to hand out one of these. We never want to hand out a wood chipper to somebody who's innocent. So we're going to be looking through this. Marcus, thank you so much. I love you. Six's mom. I guess what Matt said was true. If your friends get banned from YouTube, would you do it too? You and Nate are good friends, and the answer is yes. Give us the scoop. How long? At least you can walk him through YouTube jail. Aloha. Well, Six's mom, thank you for bringing that up. Let me let you guys know. Last night, Valhalla VFT was on a live stream, and he was right in the middle of talking about America's greatest ally and their prime minister, the BB gun, and all of a sudden it just went dark on everybody. So he ended up, it popped up on a screen saying, live stream taken down due to community guidelines violation. I immediately called him and I said, what the French, Toast? What seems to be crapping? And we figured it out. He actually ended up appealing it, and he won in his appeal. But they took it down, and when they took it down, they stripped him of his live stream availability. They suspended him from live streaming, and it didn't give him a timeline as to how long. So we don't know when he's going to be able to live stream again, but he beat it in appeal. But they took his live stream down, put it back up. It's even monetized, you guys. It's green. They're putting ads on it. They're making money off of it, but they did not reinstate his ability to live stream. So he can post shorts, he could do long form video content, and he could do community posts. But right now, Nate, Valhalla VFT cannot live stream, which is absolutely crazy. So when we're talking about people that were close with Michael, I want to get something that Macaulay actually did say, something that you can actually verify, something that's not just a clip that looks AI. This is actually Macaulay Culkin. Let's hear what he did say in his own words about his relationship with the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Did say that you felt that he did not have unnatural relationships with any of the kids, any of the boys who stayed.
Unnatural relationships. That's a pretty careful way of saying that shit. I gotta say, I've never thought of posing it like that.
In his house. How did you know that?
Well, I mean, you never know anything without 100% certainty. But at the same time, I mean, if my opinion is, if he didn't do anything to me, I don't think he would have done anything to anyone else.
When was the last time you talked with Michael Jackson?
About 4 months ago.
How is he doing? He's living in Bahrain in the Middle East.
Yeah, when I talked to him, it sounded like he was doing better. I mean, his voice was stronger. So, I just said, just go and take care of yourself, essentially.
I find it weird that he moved to the Middle East. Like, he was born in America. He was very rich. He could have lived anywhere that he wanted. He had Neverland Ranch, which was insane. He literally, you'll hear him talk later about the bedroom that he had, having multiple stories in the bedroom and 3 bathrooms in his bedroom alone. But he moved to Baja Blast out in the Middle East. Bahrain, Baja Blast, whatever, same difference.
Was my advice, so who knows if he'll take it.
So that's one thing that was said by Macaulay Culkin. Let's jump to a later interview with, that's not it. Is this one it? No, I think that's the only one we have of Macaulay Culkin. Let's hear from another one. This actually is from a friend of mine. If you guys remember Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman played in Goonies. He was in The Lost Boys. He's been in a lot of movies. He was one of the most notable friends of Michael Jackson. All of Michael Jackson's friends seem to be young children. Now, I'll get into my theory about why Michael Jackson had friends that were very young children here in a little bit. But let's hear a couple things from my friend Corey Feldman. Good dude, by the way.
The house. That's what all these things are.
Hold on. Why are you doing this to me? Okay, hold on. Never mind. We're going to do one real quick. One more from Macaulay Culkin because I think this is the one where he talks about the bedroom.
At the house. That's what all these things
It's,
that people are
that's
concerned
what's so
about.
weird,
What did happen?
Nothing happened, I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, we played it as
Sleep
an
in the
amusement
bed?
park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing is that, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories. And it has like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last 30 years, or and so he's not very good at communicating to people and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, people, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
Why do you think he likes young people so
It's because it's the same reason why he liked me, was the fact that I didn't care who he was. That was the thing. I talked to him like he was a normal human being. And that's what, and kids do that to him, because he's not, I mean, he's Michael Jackson, the pop singer, but he's not the god of, the king of pop or anything like that. He's just, a guy who's actually very kid-like himself.
And I would contest, since Michael Jackson was a very young child star, just like all the people that he seems to be friends with, he was a child star. And I believe that the vast majority of the time when you're a child star, you lose your childhood. You're, a commodity. You're growing up in Hollywood and the music industry. They're very dark, a lot of evil people around you, a lot of depravity. Your childhood is stripped away from you. So it also seems to me, just like the reason that I hang out with people that, have either been to prison, or they're, veterans, or they're ex-junkies, people who've been through some shit. It makes sense to me that Michael Jackson, who grew up as a child star, would have a propensity to hang out with other people who lived that same life. That doesn't mean it wasn't creepy, and it doesn't mean that it is creepy. We're still going to reserve that, but let's hear from someone else. Let's hear from Corey Feldman on this. I am now going to play that clip. Sorry, we did take a little sidetrack on that.
I've told the police. In fact, if anybody wants to go back to 1993, when I was interviewed by the Santa Barbara Police Department, I sat there and I gave them the names. They're on record. They have all of this information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson. All they cared about was trying to find something on Michael Jackson.
Who you said, by the way, did not abuse you.
Who Michael was innocent, and that was what the interview was about with the police in 1993. I told them he is not that guy, and they...
And I want to let you guys know that Corey did a whole documentary on the people that are demons in Hollywood. And Hollywood has done everything that they possibly could to bury that thing. He was going to release it in theaters. They shut it down. He put it out for a little bit. They got it taken down. I'm not sure if it still exists for the general public in a way that you can find it without really having to hunt. But he went through great pains to make this and release it and have it see the light of day. And it got suppressed. Corey has been working on this for a very, very long time. And there's things that you hear in there, like what happened to Corey Haim with Charlie Sheen, that people don't want to hear. They're immediately like, fuck this. I don't want to hear this. This is too much. James Swain, I see you, brother. I love you. Glad you're here with us tonight. So, when it comes to people who've been trying to expose the evils in Hollywood, Corey Feldman has been doing this for a long time, and nobody has wanted to listen. Well, now maybe that we know a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes with these elites, maybe people will actually listen to Corey.
I said, well, maybe you just don't understand your friend. And I said, no, I know the difference between pedophiles and somebody who's not a pedophile because I've been molested. Here's the names. Go investigate.
So you heard him quite simply. He said, Michael Jackson is not one of those people, and he knows the difference because it's happened to him.
Touched me. He never touched anybody, as far as I know.
And you still have a positive view of Michael?
I do. But
You don't believe the stories?
no. And what I know is Michael was a gentleman, and he was respectful to every child that I saw him with and to me myself. So there was a group of kids, and we all formed a bond. We were all friends with Michael, and I asked each one of those kids about their experiences, and every one of them told me the same thing that I experienced. You know, come on, this guy loved children. That was his thing. Not like that. Like, he loved children. He cared about the children. He wanted the world to be a better place. That's what he spoke for. That's what he stood up for. He loved the magic of it all. So you take somebody like that, and let's just think for a second. Let's say that's truly who he is. Let's say there is no other side. But that's it. That's the whole deal, right? Now, if you imagine what it must feel like in your soul, if that's your biggest love, your biggest passion, and all they're doing is trying to turn that very thing against you and say that you're the sicko, you're the other side of it. Do you know how you would feel waking up every morning? Michael Jackson was a witch hunt, okay? Let me just say this. As far as I know, he never touched.
So, in very no uncertain terms, Mr. Feldman is saying this is all bullshit. This is not real. This shit never happened. This is a witch hunt. But why would people do this? Why would anybody go out of their way to paint somebody as a monster, as like one of the most disgusting creatures? We all fucking hate pedophiles. We all know that we despise these people, creatures, not even people. But why would anybody ever want to do anything like that and paint somebody who's a good person like that? Well, I'm going to tell you, here's one theory, and it comes straight from another young man who spent time with Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson. And I'm going to let you hear it in his own words because it makes sense.
Okay. So after I left the party, and the next day I smoked weed with Michael, and then I get in the limousine, I leave. I get back to the Sheraton Hotel at Universal over here. There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me in the hotel room. And my mom's there, and she's like, tell them what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean tell them what happened? And I sit down with them, and they all ask these super sexually exploited, questions, backsided questions. And I knew that at my age already. And I looked at all 4 of them, and I said, are y'all crazy? I said, what you think I'm gonna do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money? That's what I told him. I was like, you're crazy. And I looked over at my mom, and I was like, are you serious, Mom? I was like, what is going on here? Why are you letting this happen? And she goes, oh, I think something happened. I think something. I'm like, really? That man did nothing but be hospitable, kind, loving, giving.
So there you go. There are 3 of the kids that were the absolute closest to Michael Jackson. And each and every one of their stories about his character, about their personal life experience, they all align. Every single one of them absolutely aligns. So it makes not a lot of sense that if all 3 of them have the same story, they're all on board. And by the way, rest in peace, Aaron Carter, man. Rest in peace to Aaron Carter. He definitely had demons. He, like myself, for many years of my life, he was an addict. He clearly went through some shit. But he's not out here saying shit didn't happen, or shit happened that didn't happen. And he doesn't want to paint somebody who wasn't a pervert, a demon, as being one. Roman Wolf Gaming, I got my FOIA back and I only got a police report, and they said they can't give me body cam of arrest. Also, is a testimony good enough for a conviction? Wood chipper. So look, a lot of the time they won't give you a body cam if there's anyone who could be considered a victim in the body cam. And a lot of time, testimony is not enough for a conviction, unfortunately. Keith, thank you so much, bro. Lone Star, what's up, man? Happy to see you, JD. Finally released from YouTube jail, man. I'm out on bail. I'm out on bond. They'll throw me back in a heartbeat, brother. Celtic said, didn't a Home Alone kid testify against Michael Jackson? No, absolutely not. No, we actually just heard multiple times from Macaulay Culkin, who said that nothing ever happened. He has maintained that his entire life. All 3 of these gentlemen have always maintained Michael Jackson's innocence. Diamond Dogs, we will never get transparency with the government. And that's just facts. Not with the new files, not with anything with Michael Jackson. Dominar said, off subject, the easiest way to catch fraud in America is to bait your traps with a mixture of bananas and rice. Yeah, brother. That is amazing. Delete the Borishka files. I don't even know what the Borishka files are, my brother. Keith said, hello from Virginia. Hey, right back to you, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Paramedic, dog, it's good to see you. I didn't even recognize you. You changed your profile pic, but that is sick, man. The eagle, the flag, it makes me feel all patriotic and such, bro. The files need to turn into the trials. Wood chipper! Hell yeah, brother. Love you, man. Thank you for being here. James, what's up, brother? Love what you do, and I'm ready to roll out any day. Keep up the amazing work. James, I'm so glad to see you here today. Thank you for being with us, man. AJ said, Culkin said as much about MJ relating to and wanting to protect him, given MJ's own experience as a child in the spotlight. Love you, JD. And that's something that I've never heard Michael Jackson openly talk about anybody diddling him as a kid. But I would kind of assume growing up in that lifestyle, growing up in that type of a situation, growing up in that environment, that it's a high likelihood, man, you know, especially considering his dad was so controlling and abusive. Mojo, my ex-girlfriend uncle was Frank DeLeo, Michael Jackson's manager in the 1980s. He was Tootie from Goodfellas, also Wayne's World. She told me Mike would never hurt a kid. And here's the thing, you know, back in high school and everything, we would make jokes, bro. We would make jokes. You know, the one of the classic jokes, what do Michael Jackson and Kmart have in common? Little boy's pants, half off. And I feel really bad about that, which is part of why I very adamantly want to look into this. Because, you know, when you're a teenager and shit, making jokes is one thing. As an adult, I understand how damaging it is to other survivors like me of childhood sexual assault to perpetuate things about people that are unproven and untrue. So that's why I want to take this real look into this. Jason White, did you get my X messages you told me to send you? Things are getting worse by the day. I almost relapsed last night after 15 years clean. I'm so lost. I looked for them. I didn't see them. Jason, are they under the same name? Is your X account under Jason White? Dominar said, Jason White, apply this to sobriety. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Bro, Aristotle was lit, man. And for real, like, it is making patterns. Like, neurologically, you get patterns in your brain from doing things repeatedly. That's how you build better habits. That is 100% true. Josiah said, the people who didn't like Michael Jackson were guys who went to and or ran the island. They don't care about us. And, you know, it is starting to look like that. Bobby Lynn, bummer for Nate the other night. Looking forward to the First Amendment on another site, bro. I will follow you both. Wood chipper, bro. Well, Bobby, I saw you, and you were putting some fire comments into that chat, brother. It was great to see you over there. I'll just announce it right now. I had a meeting with one of the higher-ups at Rumble today and discussed, them, onboarding us over there and, giving us just, not special treatment, but getting us some exposure over there to help us be seen. And they are all for it. They are on board. They are super cool. They like what we do over there. They think that we align with what they've got going on. I love that. And so me and Nate are both going to be doing that. And what we're going to probably start by doing is having lives here and then having the after live over there, where we can talk about the things they won't let us talk about here. Because there's certain things like Nate's live stream getting cut off last night. You can talk about whatever you want to over there. You can't over here. Yo, Bearded Viking, what's up, my guy? Good to see you, brother. Big love to you. KV in Seattle. How do you explain Michael paying a $23 million settlement? Was it a $23 million settlement? So I do know, and this is part of what we were going to go over tonight, but we may as well just address it right now. So the way that it worked with that settlement, and I don't know that it was $23 million, but I do know that that settlement was actually paid out by Michael Jackson's record label, not Michael himself. He wanted to fight that. And the record label, when a record label owns your name, they own your image, they own basically your identity, they will protect that and they'll do a cost benefit analysis. How much can this hurt the person? And how much would it, is it going to cost us to save us? And if it costs less for them to pay out the settlement than the damages they feel they could economically incur, they can pay the settlement out to make that shit go away. It's a thing that's a common practice in the music industry. Celtic, appreciate you. Big love and respect. What did this person say? Steady chasing money bags. YouTube got shut down. Yeah, right. They care about that guy yapping away. I don't know what you're talking about, Bubba. I don't know what you're talking about. And yes, AJ said Michael Jackson regretted not fighting that one in court. He spoke about it. He absolutely did speak out about it. He wanted to fight it at the time, and they actually told him, no, we're paying it on your behalf, which looks hella sketchy. If it was me, okay, so I'm not owned by anybody. I'm not signed to a deal. I don't have an agency. I don't have a manager or anything like that. So if it was just me and somebody accused me of doing something and I paid it out, that would be sketchy as fuck. If it's just a private entity and they're like, oh, I'm going to pay to make this go away, that to me raises all the red flags. When it happens with a record label, it's a little different and it's a little weird. It's just different. So look, I want to play some of this because I think this is going to give us a little more insight into this whole situation.
I met Michael Jackson at Epstein's house in Palm Beach, asked whether she massaged Jackson.
If I would hurt a child, I would slit my wrists. I would never hurt a child. He's totally false. I was outraged.
What if I told you that one single photograph was enough to drag Michael Jackson back into one of the darkest scandals in modern history? Not a confession, not a court document, just a picture. When the Epstein files were released and people saw Michael's face appear in the same batch of documents as Jeffrey Epstein, the internet exploded. Headlines moved fast. Comments moved faster. Suddenly, the king of pop was being linked to a trafficking scandal that shook the world. But here's the uncomfortable part. Being photographed near someone is not the same thing as knowing who they really are. And before we jump to conclusions, we need to separate documented facts from internet assumptions. Because once you dig into what was actually released, what was proven and what was never proven, the story becomes far more complicated than the viral posts suggest. And it starts with that photo, what the Epstein files actually revealed.
And this is important because yes, he is in the Epstein files, but we need to understand the context. There's a lot of people that are mentioned in the Epstein files that aren't mentioned in fucky ways, bro. My friend Kyle Rittenhouse, if you look him up in the files, he texts me and he's like, bro, why am I in the fucking Epstein files? And I was like, you're kidding me. No way. And he's like, yeah, no, seriously, bro. I am in the Epstein files. So it's important to know the context of these things. Really quick, I want to bring this up. Mike Zero Source said I failed. I relapsed last weekend and drank. I feel like so much of a failure. Alcohol is the greatest demon. I'm trying again to get sober. I want you to listen to me, brother. I want you to listen to me if you respect me, if you value my input on this at all, as somebody who lived that life for 20 years, as somebody who now helps people in recovery. I want you to know you need to take the word failure and fail out of your vocabulary with this. You need to assess where you went wrong, find what wasn't working in your recovery, or what you did that was a risk, and you need to just strengthen that area of your recovery. Because as long as you learn from something, it is not a failure. As long as you learn from something, it is a learning opportunity. I did not get it on my first, second, third, or until my 7th try to be able to be where I am today. And you didn't lose the time that you spent sober. You still have that. You just had a hiccup. You need to get right back to it and come back stronger, brother. And we'll be with you every single step of the way. We love you here, bro. You got this. Most Blessed said, I would recommend watching Entering Neverland on YouTube. It gets into the situation and destroys the Leaving Neverland narrative. Excellent. Excellent, brother. Thank you for the rec. So we're going to get back into what exactly is Michael Jackson in the Epstein files for. Shit, I said his name. Don't kill me, YouTube. I didn't mean it.
Epstein-related court documents and images were unsealed under transparency laws. People expected a list of secret accomplices. What they got instead was a massive dump of names, flight logs, contacts, and photographs, many of them without context. Among those images was a photo of Michael Jackson with Jeffrey Epstein. That alone was enough to trigger outrage online. But here's what matters. The files did not accuse Michael of any crime. They did not link him to Epstein's trafficking network. They did not show him on flight logs tied to the island. The image was reportedly taken around 2002 or 2003 in Palm Beach.
The Justice Department recently released files that revealed several prominent celebrities on Jeffrey Epstein's contact list. Some of the names included are Michael Jackson, Alec Baldwin, Naomi Campbell, Mick Jagger, Prince Andrew, Robert F. Kennedy's late mother, Ethel Kennedy, and former New York Governor, Andrew Cuomo.
During a time when Epstein was still moving in elite social circles and had not yet been publicly exposed. That distinction is critical. At that point, Epstein was known as a wealthy financier, not the monster the world later discovered. But once Michael's face appeared in those documents, people ignored the full story.
So, did you catch what he said there? Because this is really important. They said that the pictures that Michael Jackson is in with Epstein occurred before anybody knew that Epstein was a pee-pee toucher, before they knew that he was a diaper desperado, before anybody had any idea, besides the people that were intimately involved, that he was a kindergarten commando. You know, people that were seen with Epstein before he was busted in Florida in 2008, I am willing to give an extra benefit of a doubt because nobody really knew unless they were doing it with him. The people that hung out with him after 2008, those are the people that I look at and I'm like, you wanted to hang out with somebody that you knew raped a kid. And fuck you for that. You weirdo. I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how many people he knew. I don't care what the fucking context was. We don't ride out with fucking chomos, bro. That's not what we do. That shit is ooey vey. So before 2008 and after 2008 have different criterias in my book personally. I don't know if you guys make that distinction. I mean, look, seriously, you never know what somebody's into. You could have a friend right now that you don't know is a fucking playground extraction specialist, and you wouldn't know until they get caught. But if you're hanging out with somebody who's been caught, making excuses for them, kicking it with them, I think you're a real life piece of shit, bro. And I think you probably have toddler toucher in you, bro. Your filthy little toddler tongs are probably dirty at that point. Bobby Lynn said, government just throwing names for shade. These people will do everything to protect their class. So the reason, here's the thing. The list that we now have, after them telling us they don't have a list, and then all of a sudden they throw out this huge list with crazy names like Marilyn Monroe and Kurt Cobain and all these wild names in there, all the way up to current day Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, people that were clearly not implicated in weirdo shit. They did it to muddy the waters. So they know exactly who in those files were co-conspirators, who were people that were sending sketchy emails about eating kids, molesting kids, hunting black people, messages about covering up 9/11, messages planning COVID years before COVID happened. All that shit, they know who's who. They have all that stuff. But they don't want us to be able to tell. So they hand us a huge list full of extra names and extra people to throw us off the scent. AOC's name is in there, and I don't like AOC, but I don't think she was out there finger blasting kids with EP either. I don't believe it. They did this on purpose to throw us off the trail because they're absolutely covering up for the worst, most disgusting creatures on the planet. Mike Zero Source said, how did you replace the pain with alcohol? The memories of being in Afghanistan haunt me. I'm afraid to go to the VA and lose my gun rights. Well, I'm going to tell you like this, man. For me, just taking away the drugs and alcohol was only one small step, because the drugs and alcohol, they were a bad solution to the problem inside of me. And as soon as I took away the solution, the problem was full bore. All the drugs and alcohol did was they helped relieve the symptoms. But as soon as I took those away, the symptoms came back even stronger. And I needed to get involved in a program. For me, the 12 steps helped a lot. I needed to get involved in counseling. Therapy worked for me. And whether you do that through the VA, or you do that privately, or you do that with some of your battle buddies, you know, guys that you know that have been through some of the same shit, every time you talk about it, those wounds are going to get smaller and you're going to get bigger and stronger, man. I highly recommend talking about the shit that you don't want to talk about. The shit that's the darkest, the shit that's the most evil, the shit that hurts your soul to speak about, you have to get that out of you. It's poison and it's killing you. And you have to let that shit go. That's my honest suggestion. If you're worried about losing your gun rights through going through the VA, find another outlet. Even if it's just one other person on the planet that you know is going to understand because they've been through it too, bare your fucking soul, homie. Let go of that shit. I love you, and you're worth it, bro. You're worth it, Mike. Okay. Back to Michael Jackson. And keep in mind, his association with Epstein was summed up in one photo that they had together prior to 2008. And he was wearing whiteface, pretty serious whiteface.
And the internet did what it always does. It filled in the blanks. And that's when the narrative started shifting towards something even darker. Why Michael's name exploded again. The moment Michael's name appeared in the same set of documents as Epstein, people didn't stop to ask questions. They reacted. And honestly, that reaction wasn't random. Michael Jackson has been surrounded by controversy for decades, so when his name shows up anywhere near a scandal, it spreads fast. That's just reality. For some people, the photo felt like confirmation of something they already believed. For others, it felt like another unfair attempt to drag his name through the mud. And that divide is important, because Michael isn't just a celebrity.
If you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a murderer, it's not a good idea. That I'm not. That's how we were raised.
He's one of the most polarizing figures in modern pop culture. You mention his name, and emotions rise instantly. But here's what made this different. Epstein's crimes were real, horrific, and deeply disturbing. So when any famous name appears in that orbit, the reaction becomes explosive. No one wants to be connected to that darkness. And when you combine that with Michael's past legal battles from 1993 and 2003, the internet doesn't separate timelines. It blends everything together. And that blending of events is where things start to get complicated. Neverland, sanctuary or suspicion. Neverland Ranch wasn't just a house. It was a private amusement park. Rides, a zoo, a movie theater, candy stores, fireworks. It looked like something built from a child's imagination. And for years, Michael invited sick children, underprivileged kids, and families through charities to spend time there. Supporters say it was simple. Michael lost his childhood. He was working before he even understood what normal life felt like.
Is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's the beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should it be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room?
So he built the childhood he never had.
So I feel like he just isn't reading the room and understanding that, yeah, that is kind of creepy, but I think it's because he has a certain innocence. He has a certain innocence that was robbed from him as a kid, and so he tried to live in that as an adult. So, it kind of does, I'm not going to lie, it raises red flags. 44-year-old man in the same bedroom as a kid, but keep in mind what Macaulay Culkin said. His bedroom was 2 stories and had 3 bathrooms. That's like my house. I can guarantee you Michael Jackson's bedroom was bigger than my house. I have 2 bathrooms and 2 stories, but I'm betting his bedroom was bigger than my whole shit. And this ranch, honestly, looks dope as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the emotional explanation. But critics saw something else. They asked uncomfortable questions. Why would a grown man create a space centered around children? Why were so many kids visiting? Why did some former visitors later make accusations? In 2005, after a full criminal trial, Michael was acquitted on all counts. Legally, he walked away innocent. But socially, the suspicion never fully disappeared. And that's important, because once doubt enters the public mind, it doesn't leave easily. Now, fast forward years later, Epstein's Island becomes known worldwide as a place where horrible things happen. So when people hear private ranch, wealthy celebrity, and children, some automatically connect dots, even if those dots aren't actually connected. And that's where the narrative online started changing. Macaulay Culkin and the long defense. For over 20 years, Macaulay Culkin has said the same thing. Nothing happened. The Home Alone star met Michael as a child at the height of his fame.
Nothing happened, you know? I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, you know? We played it as an amusement park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing.
He spent time at Neverland. He stayed over. He was one of the kids people pointed to when the allegations surfaced. And when the 2005 trial happened, Culkin testified in court under oath. He said Michael never touched him, never harmed him, never behaved inappropriately. That testimony mattered. And he didn't just say it once.
That perhaps Jackson molested Culkin while he was sleeping. Prosecutors zone in saying, so as far as you know, you were never molested while you were awake. Culkin's response, as far as I know, I was never molested by Michael Jackson.
He has repeated it in interviews for years, calmly, directly, without hesitation. In fact, he's often looked frustrated that people keep asking him the same question. To him, the answer has never changed. Now, does one person's defense erase every accusation? No, but it does complicate the narrative.
I'm very happy to have him in my life.
Because when someone who had the closest access publicly defends you for decades, it forces people to pause. And that's why supporters say Neverland was a safe place, not a secret one. But the Epstein photo brought the conversation back anyway.
So what he just said, I think, is pretty important. Okay? Neverland was a safe place, not a secret place. The island was shrouded in secrecy. Neverland Ranch had cameras. It had constant news coming out of it. He had nonprofits being able to bring sick kids there with their parents and all this shit. Kermit said, grown-ass man sleeping with kids, get the fuck out of here. So listen, nobody has ever said that he slept in the same bed as any kids. No one has ever said that. None of these kids have said that. It was the same bedroom, which is a 2-story house or 2-story bedroom with 3 different, thank you for, hold on. What was that person's name? Rod, you fucking cuck, bro. Thank you, Irish Bomb Squad. I appreciate you getting them out of here. Rod, I got something for you. It's going to remind you of your uncle late at night, creeping on it. It's a nippy. It's the binky, because JD hurt your feelings. What you're going to do is you're going to just nip, 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 nip. Throat it, dog. Throat it. So look, you can say that it's weird. I'm not saying that it's not weird. I'm just being open and objective here. But let's not say that they were sleeping in the same bed, because all of these kids have said that's not the case. And all of these kids have said that's not what happened. So let's get it right, at least. If we're going to be talking about this, let's be accurate.
The bodyguards claim, and the Palm Beach context. After the Epstein files resurfaced and Michael's photo started circulating again, one of the first people to respond was his former bodyguard, Matt Fittis. He worked with Michael for nearly...
That dude is a fucking bodyguard? How? How is that dude a bodyguard, bro? is that fucking Jason Bourne? How is that dude a bodyguard? I don't understand. Like, that dude looks like clavicular pre-ascension. What is going on here?
A decade, and he didn't stay quiet. Fiddes said the photo was taken around 2002 or 2003 in Palm Beach. According to him, Michael was visiting a property he was considering buying during a house hunting trip.
That Michael Jackson was house hunting in Palm Beach. I'm not sure why that's not being reported anywhere. So that's the truth. From someone who was there, who witnessed it. I didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was. None of us did. We were in the financial world.
Epstein was present in that social circle at the time. Fiddes strongly denied any deeper relationship. He said Michael didn't know who Epstein really was and called the idea of a connection nonsense.
They were not advisors to Michael Jackson, but his mansion was for sale, and that's how the picture came about.
They were looking at a mansion that Epstein owned in Palm Beach, and that's why he was there with him. And this was pre-2008, before anybody even knew that dude was a pervert. That makes so much sense. Siri, was Michael Jackson's bodyguard a martial artist?
Yes, Michael Jackson's bodyguard, Matt Fiddes, is a martial artist.
There you go.
This answer is from morethanfidmag.com.
There you go. Okay, so dude might have been small, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I got rocked harder than I've ever gotten rocked in my life by a dude that was way smaller than me. In prison, almost knocked me out, bro. There was a minute that I almost wilted. I didn't see it coming. He got me with a cold one, and I had to pull myself back up. And he definitely won that fight. Off that punch alone, he won that fight. I should have seen it coming. It wasn't a sucker punch. Let me make that clear. I was running my slick ass mouth, and I should have been paying attention. I thought because he was smaller that he wasn't going to jump, you know? Dude all the way fucking jumped. So, yeah. I'm not saying he just seems small. I would think you see bodyguards these days and they're like, yo, what's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know what I'm saying? If dude is a ninja, dude's a damn ninja. That's what's up.
They all want a picture with Michael Jackson.
Now here's what's important. Epstein's crimes were not publicly exposed yet. He was still presenting himself as a wealthy financier moving around elite spaces. Many high-profile names appeared in photos with him from that period. That alone doesn't prove involvement. But in today's world, context doesn't always travel with the image. The picture spreads faster than the explanation. And once it spreads, people start asking a much bigger question. Guilt by association and the internet machine.
So look, I can tell you right now, if you are any type of, I'm not even famous, bro. Like, I'm not even slightly famous. I'm not even a little, I'm just a YouTuber, right? But I meet people in public all the time, and people are like, yo, can I get a picture with you? I don't know who these people are. One of them could literally be the second reincarnation of fucking Hitler, for all I know. But it's like, I don't want to be a dick to people. So I'm like, yeah, bro, what's up, man? Come on, let's take a picture and all. You know what I'm saying? Because I love everybody who supports me. If you're Michael fucking Jackson, imagine probably everybody that you meet is going to want to get a picture with you. That's just the reality of the situation. That dude was actually famous, like famous. Bobby said to my brothers and sisters out there, I'm a vet who was involved in some stuff 35 years ago. Get you a sponsor, coach, to help you work through this. It's not your fault. You just followed orders. I love you. And I want to take a second to just drop real quick. Huge shout out, huge love and respect, our absolute support and love and admiration to all of our active duty military and all of our veterans. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice to this country and to the American people, man. I love you, Bobby. Scully Bones. Hey, man, have you seen what Alabama passed into law concerning predators? So Alabama passed into law that they could give them the death penalty for that shit. They're doing that death penalty out there, man, which is great because Alabama already has Aniah's law. And Aniah's law says that if you get caught up on kitty diddler charges, that they're not going to let you out pre-trial. They're going to hold you until you either are found not guilty and then they let you go, or until you get all the way done with your prison sentence. I know this because I was out there working with Chris Hansen and the Blount County Sheriff's Office, and they're hitting each person that we brought in with Aniah's law to make sure they didn't go nowhere until that shit was squashed or until they went to prison for it. So yeah, they have great laws out there, man. I love it out there. James, what's up, buddy? Chip that ass. What's up, JD? Much love, homie. Yo, much love to you, brother. Hella heavy on the wood chipper, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Seal said, never judge a book by the cupboard. Most bodyguards are ex-military or law enforcement. I know because requirement when you look at the application. Yeah, and that dude he looked very slender, and he didn't look very old either. But apparently he's a martial artist. So, you know, if he got hired by Michael Jackson, he has to be pretty badass. You know what I'm saying? My life is a complex pistache. His photo with Epi gives off the same vibes as the one with Steve Carell's character shaking hands with his boss. No way these two are friends. I would agree with that. The picture's weird because Michael Jackson's in full whiteface, but it's pre-2008. And as we have just learned, they were house shopping out there in fucking Palm Beach when that occurred.
In the Epstein case, hundreds of powerful names surfaced. Politicians, billionaires, celebrities, socialites, photos, contact lists, flight logs, all thrown into the public arena. And almost instantly, people started drawing lines between everyone. But here's the reality. Being photographed with someone is not the same as being part of their crimes. Epstein built his entire image around access. He wanted pictures with famous people. He wanted credibility. That was part of how he operated. The problem is, once those images are released years later, the context is gone. The timeline is forgotten. People see two faces in one frame and assume a hidden story. And with Michael Jackson, that reaction is amplified. He's already one of the most debated figures in pop culture history. So when his image appears anywhere near a scandal, it explodes, it trends. It divides people instantly. The internet doesn't slow down to ask when the photo was taken. It doesn't separate what was proven from what was rumored. It reacts emotionally first, and that emotional reaction is what keeps this story alive. But now we get to the part that really matters. How Michael Jackson tried to protect children. Michael Jackson spent a huge part of his life around children. That alone made people uncomfortable. But look at what he actually did. He donated millions to children's hospitals. He paid for medical treatments. He invited sick and poor children to Neverland so they could forget their pain for a few days. To him, Neverland wasn't just a ranch with rides and animals. It was a place where kids could feel safe and happy.
These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy.
The media often showed it as strange, suspicious, even dark. But many of the families who visited through charities described it very differently. They talked about laughter, movie nights, animals, and a break from real-life struggles. At the same time, the whole world was focused on Michael.
And we enjoyed it. We did enjoy it. But this allowed me to have a place behind the gates where the entire world, everything that I love is there.
Every rumor became big news. Every accusation turned into a huge debate. He was investigated, taken to court, and judged in front of everyone. But in the end, he was found not guilty.
And that's important. He was found not guilty of this shit. They dragged him. He faced it head on. And he was found not guilty. Mike Zero Source said, look up Mike Vining. Ask VFT about him. He doesn't look scary, but he's the deadliest man who lived. And listen, Sergeant Mike Vining is a badass, you guys. And he does not look scary. Like, this is who we're talking about right here. Hold on. I want you guys to see this. For anybody who doesn't know the context of who we're talking about, that's Mike, right? And he is, look how decorated that dude is. That dude is clearly a fucking beast, but he looks like the white incarnation of Urkel. I wouldn't say that to his face. It's all respect for him. But you guys get what I'm saying is like, dude doesn't look dangerous, but he's dangerous as shit. And I do believe that I saw earlier my dude Donut Operator talking about when they have him on the podcast. I think that Mike Vining is gonna be on the Unsubscribed podcast, which would be fucking sick. I would be so down with that, man. I think that would be so ill. And Six's mom said, how many pictures have you taken with people at an event, JD? I'm going to tell you right now. Every time that I go out to any event, I get asked for people to take pictures with me, and I don't ever turn anybody down. I'm nice to literally everybody in public. I had to leave a Jelly Roll concert before I'd met Jelly Roll, and I was going backstage after the concert to meet Jelly Roll, which I really wanted to do because I'd been listening to him for years. There were so many people that were drunk and that were grabbing me and asking me if they could take pictures with me and all of this shit that my like PTSD went off. And Jax looked at me and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm really not. I need to go. So we left before the concert was over and before I got to meet Jelly. I understand. Six's mom said anyone can get a picture with a celebrity. That's what Epstein was doing. Blackmail and recruitment. Aloha from Kauai. And that's really important because when you see somebody like Epstein with people like Michael Jackson and people like, you know, Trump and Clinton and the whole array and gamut of people that he met before 2008, it gives him credibility. It's like a cover. It gives him camouflage. It's like, I am somebody. I'm elite. And that's what he was going for. Six's mom is absolutely correct. And we love Six and we love Six's mom and we love Kauai. The Omega Werty. Research Nancy Schaefer issue, the real trafficking. I will look into that. Thank you. The homie Grumpy Knuckles is here. What's up, dog? Peace, Wood. I emailed Valhalla to see if us three could record an interview here in Portland. I want to interview the baddest motherfuckers in the Northwest. Love you, brother. We mainlining, no mid-tiers, smash everything moving. I love you, bro. I'll come up to Portland for that. I'll 100% come up to Portland for that, brother. You know it, man. I'm getting another big-ass hug. We gonna dap shit up and we gonna fucking talk, bro. Yeah, and, you know, me and Valhalla actually have been talking about, he's setting up a studio that'll be suitable for a podcast, and we're going to be continuing the Thank You for Your Disservice podcast. And it's just a matter of time before we have a podcast studio set up down here too, brother. So we'll figure it out, man. 100. Camo Heater, it's officially been 6 months, bro. Love you and everyone up in here. Here's to a year. Congrats on the 6 months clean, brother. We are so proud of you. I'm going to get that hat out to you, brother. Love you and I appreciate you, man. Ticking Tom Bomb. Thanks, JD. Your dedication to revealing these monsters is commendable. Man, we have to do it. It takes a tribe, and it's taking a global tribe, bro, because these monsters, these creatures, these demons are everywhere. Blackbeard, hey, JD, I bought 4 more shirts. Ready to buy more when you put out more. Dude, that is so lit. Thank you so much for that support, Blackbeard. I'm so glad that you're out there repping it. Thank you. Huge love and respect, man. I really appreciate that. And, you know, while we're at it, hold on real quick here. Let us jump over here real quick. Let me show you guys something. Did this pop on screen? This did not pop on screen. Okay, I want to show you guys something that I'm pretty proud of. I think it's pretty sick. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so if any of you guys have ever been to Bunker Branding, this is where I sell my merch. This is the same company that's owned by Demolition Ranch, and Fat Electrician Nick is a part owner. And this is the newest shirt that we have. America First, America Only. We the people have had enough. This is the newest thing that I put out. We've got shirts, tanks, and hoodies. If anybody wants one of these, I am dying for mine to come in the mail. I cannot wait for mine to show up. I absolutely fucking love this one. I'm super stoked. I came up with the idea and they had it ready for me within a day. And I haven't even gotten to get mine yet. So, you know, if anybody wants to check out the new merch, since it was brought up, when somebody brings it up, I'm going to take a second to do the shameless self-promotion. Thank you so much, Blackbeard. I appreciate you repping with us. Let's keep pedophiles afraid again, and let's take our fucking country back, homeboy. Hawkster, good day from Australia, JD. I love your vibe, love your energy. Fuck the haters, and the YouTube censors suck. MJ was the scapegoat as a distraction from the evils on kids. Respect from Australia. Big respect right back to you, man. And all of our brothers and sisters down under. Love you and appreciate you so much. That's not what I'm trying to do. We are going to stop that screen. Let me get this back up. So listen, you guys, hold on. Before we even move on, let's redo a poll, because last time we had 69% of people did not think that MJ was bad. So let's do another one after we've gone through all this. Let's do another poll. Do you guys think that MJ was a kid toucher? Let's give me a yes or no on this. Let's hear what you guys think after everything that we've seen. Do you think that MJ was an innocent dude who lost his childhood and who was trying to give kids a good experience and was trying to be able to plug back into some of what he lost? Or do you think he was a devious, dark, bad person? Camo Heater, buying a hoodie and shirt tonight. My guy. Hell yes, brother. And I'm still going to be sending you one of those hats that's signed that you can't buy anywhere else, brother. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much, my man. So it looks like at this point, 87% of people think that he was not a nasty bastard. It closed out at 86. So it looks like the whole, it looks like we had a shift after seeing the new information, and I always appreciate that. I love that. That's why I like doing polls at the beginning and then after we talk about a certain subject. Camo Heater, appreciate you, big dog. Love you, man. I want to show you guys something else. This is interesting, and it's current news, and I think you guys are really going to be entertained by this shit. And we're gonna jump on the back of somebody that I tend to react to kind of often because he has some based ass takes. This shit absolutely hilarious. Hold on one second. Let me get this up. That sounded bad. That sounded sketchy. Add to stage. There it is. Here we go. Have you guys seen this dude? I think his name is Dean the Great or something like that. If you have a hard time with violence, viewer beware.
This is the same guy getting slapped out again. Larry Wheels slapped Dean the Great. Dean repeatedly complimented his wife, asked her for a hug, and continued to disrespect him. Is this like how it happened?
From the restaurant.
Hey, will she agree with me? Can I get a hug?
No, don't do. Whoa.
I know we're streaming it.
No, hey, bro. Don't disrespect this motherfucker like that.
Nobody, bro.
Hey.
Honestly, W Rampage.
Yeah, actually, W Rampage, bro. Like, don't try touching people's wives, bro. The fuck is wrong with you? If some weird ass YN is trying to hug my wife, I'm gonna slap the fucking ever living dog shit out the dude, man. Period. He's gonna get smacked, bro. You don't disrespect some dude's wife. So do you think that Rampage sets him straight and he starts acting right?
Nuclear. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
And he moves in again for the hug right afterwards. He's got two big ass dudes telling him, knock that shit off, bro. Yeah, we're going to watch the Tiki video too in this. But then I'm going to show you some stuff about Larry Wheels and Tiki after we watch this.
The two of you. See, we agree.
No, real talk.
She's the only one that agree with me.
Hey, no, don't disrespect. Don't disrespect the king like that.
Nuclear.
He a king.
Nuclear.
He a king. You know why?
She a queen, though.
Listen. Whoa. I know we stream. You got to show. We got you. I know we.
So the husband has now stepped in. He was being calm. He was being cool. Now he stepped in and said, yo, enough, bro. Don't try to touch my wife.
Nuclear. She a queen, though.
Hey, honey, your liquor.
Nuclear.
I know we streaming, but honey is shit.
I'm good. She a queen.
No. Chill out. She's married.
Nuclear.
Listen, we got two beautiful girls on. Come on, let's go.
Nuclear.
Hey, he's
Fuck this.
Nuclear.
This is
Nuclear.
funny
Come on.
around. I think I'm finna be respectful. Fuck her.
Okay,
His
come on.
wife up for grabs.
Hey, he's been.
He said, this dude think I'm fitting to be respectful. F that. His wife up for grabs. That's the point at which I'll rip every braid out of that dude's head and I beat his face into the pavement. you talk about my wife like that, we're going to have real life issues. This dude is still being calm. I give it to this dude. He's still being calm. Either he's just a real peaceful dude or he's a cuck. Those are the only two options here. He's either a real peaceful dude or he likes to sit in the chair and watch while his wife gets mammy rammed. Either way, this is crazy fucking behavior from this dude, man. This dude is not big enough to be acting like this. He said his wife up for grabs. Your teeth are up for grabs, dog. Period.
He been mad disrespectful. Hey, don't be mad disrespectful. Come on, man.
Good.
Listen, I know we straight.
Look at your hands, bro. This. What are you doing with your hands?
This. You ready for them 100 gifted? 200 gifted? Listen. You ready for them 200 gifted?
Whoa! Boom! Yep. And did you see the way he just open hand slapped him? I want to let you know, as a man who's been in a lot of fights, an open hand slap is one of the worst disrespects you can do to another man. It says, first off, I'm not worried about you because you're a bitch. I don't need to hit you. I'm not worried about you coming back at me. I'm a treat you like I'm disciplining a fucking kid. I'm an open hand fucking whap you. The only thing that's more disrespectful than that, and I did this in prison, is and upside their face. If you huck a loogie in your hand and slap a grown-ass man in his face, that shit is dope. That shit is cool as shit.
Deserved. Totally fucking deserved.
Come on. Hey, he's been mad disrespectful.
That's crazy to say. You are lucky you only got slapped.
I know we
see. Look at it. Look at his hand. Look at his hand. What's he getting his hand there next to her? Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He said he was gonna jump and shoot Larry after this. He's gonna shoot Larry. This is the same guy. I think it was on the same day getting slapped out again. This isn't just like some random baldy, that's at a party. Former UFC fighter.
Nice to meet you, bro. You do know.
Now, listen to me, you guys. If this is happening on a regular fucking basis to you, you got real life fucking problems, dog. You got real life problems if you a little ass dude and you just getting manhandled. Just meat slapped, and then you go in and you starting shit again that you can't finish. You weird as fuck for that, bro.
I am. I don't know why you lying. Don't act like you don't know me.
I don't know you.
You definitely know me.
Nice to meet you, though.
Yeah, I just don't be lying because girls are.
I don't know who this fucking dude is. I understand why Tiki, who by the way, Tiki a fucking weirdo too. I understand why Tiki don't know who he is. I don't know who the fuck this dude is. I never heard of this dude until I seen him getting fucking bitch slapped like just a soggy Muppet, bro. The first I ever seen of this dude. This dude has literally made a name for himself by getting treated like a fucking hoe, bro. That's crazy.
Around and shit. You definitely know me, bro. Not even on some disrespectful shit, but.
Don't like your attitude. Don't like your.
I don't like you at all, though. Okay. Yeah. Straight up.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you, though.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
So look at the size difference here. Do you guys really think this dude, Dean, I guess he's a boxer? Okay, cool. He's a boxer. I can't fucking tell. I can't tell he's a boxer. He get boxed. That's about it, bro. Watch this.
I'm going to show you the inside of...
Are you the guy got slapped on video?
I'll make you another clip. Don't do that.
Look at his face. It's just like, you're going to make another clip over this? Why would you say this?
Seriously?
Don't do that.
Well, that's another clip, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is absolutely another clip. He definitely accomplished that one, but it didn't go the way that he thought it was going to go. That shit was hilarious. He didn't even give him the open hand slap. He had a drink in his hand. He didn't even hit him with the fist. He just gave him one elbow, and dude went down. Dude is taking a nap right now, bro. Them elbows are vicious. You can ask anybody who's been in some real fights, bro. If you get into knees and elbows, That's where it gets real dastardly. Grumpy Knuckles knows.
Bro, this guy actually thought that he was going to talk shit to Kratos. Why is
What
that?
happened?
What did you say to
I'm
him?
gonna get smoked.
He's going to get
Hey, bro,
smoked.
outside.
So
Come
now
talk
he's
to
going
me
to
inside,
shoot
bro.
two people.
Come talk to me.
He's just going to shoot everybody now.
I don't understand how this dude thinks he's a boxer when he just gets fucking meat handled by other grown men, and his comeback immediately is like, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot everybody. I'm shooting up everybody. Everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna die. I'm gonna shoot you. That's bitch behavior, bro. That's bitch behavior.
And then this is him tearing up how he fears after getting slapped by Larry Wheels.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't been sleeping. I ain't been eating ever since this slapped me, bro. My jaw hurt. I've been on the phone with lawyers, attorneys.
So he called lawyers and attorneys because he got bitch slapped. Damn, my guy, you probably don't want to bring any more fucking attention to that situation than it already gets, bro. You probably want to distance yourself from that. The best way to handle it would be to jump up and be like, I deserve that. That's straight. It's cool, man. Ain't no thing. Act like it didn't bother you. Because now the whole internet sees that you're a baby back bitch boy. A bitch boy. And that it bothers you. He's never going to let this down. For the rest of his life, he's going to be the dude who got open hand slapped by another grown man because he didn't know how to fucking act and then cried about it on a stream. This is Wes Watson behavior, you guys. This is absolutely retard shit. In fact, yo, Dean the Great, I've got something for you, buddy. You need yourself a nice tug on the binky. Give it a nice throat tug. Give it a nice throat hug because you's a bitch. That's crazy work. Crazy work.
I'm finna sue this big gorilla ass. Nuclear. My jaw hurt. I can't sleep.
I love the way they edit the word nuclear every time they say that one particular word that I'm too pasty of the persuasion to be repeating.
Sleep on my face.
Yeah? Go to the doctor.
I can't sleep on my side. This shit traumatic. And y'all
Yeah.
don't understand. Y'all think this shit funny. Y'all
I do. I think it's hilarious. I don't think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You're
Yeah.
threatening people. You're invading this one's personal space.
You can see she's uncomfortable too, bro. Like she's moving back and the look on her face is like she just smelled a French bulldog fart. Maybe a little too specific. I live with French bulldogs, 2 of them. Their gas is fucking wretched, but she moving back. Then when her husband slaps the dude, look, mid slap, look at what's on screen. Look at her face. She's smiling now, dog. She's smiling now. Ha ha.
Yeah.
I ain't ate shit. I'm drinking smoothies out of straw.
Oh, it's that straw life, bro. His shit ain't even wired shut, bro. His shit ain't even wired. He's trying to set this up for a lawsuit. That's why he on the phone like, man, you hurt my jaw. I've been eating smoothies. I haven't been able to achieve or maintain an erection since because every time I go to get intimate, I think of that giant man's just pawing me on the face with his big old hands. You know what I'm saying? That's all he doing. He tried to set up that suit. Damn, imagine acting like that and being broke as fuck. That's crazy.
Yep. That's deserved. You were the aggressor. You invaded that woman's space, saying that you were going to sexually assault her. And then even beyond that.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video? I did, but I'll slap the shit out you though.
Oh, you were? So he's going and making threats again. And you can tell because he probably knows that if somebody makes a threat at you, the chances are that if you hit them, nothing's going to happen. And he says, oh, wait, really? Wait.
And I believe that both of these incidents happened out in Florida, bro. And if you threaten somebody out in the state of Florida, it's go time, baby. You ain't in fucking Oregon or California where they're going to be like, well, were you able to retreat? Nah, bitch, you in Florida. You in Florida. You got that stand your ground out there, bro. You have no duty to retreat. Somebody fucking threatens you in Florida, you don't got to wait for them to put their hands on you. You can handle that business right then and there. Words equate to violence in the state of Florida when it comes to throwing threats around.
You said you hit me? Wait, this guy just
Seriously?
flagged
Look at
for
that.
BB? What's boom, bitch?
I think Grumpy Knuckles said it. I think it was the absolute icing on the cake, bro. That ice rattling around. In fact, let's get to that super. I want to see the way he put it. Hearing that ice just shaking around, bro, that shit was lit, man. Hell yeah, Camo Heater. Blackbeard, hey JD, just saw your bestie, the Alaskan Avenger, was also live streaming, but just off. Can we get a shirt for him? Oh, bro, he's got his own merch, homie. Jason has his own merch. You should check it out. He's doing good things. Grumpy Knuckles said, when I was in LA, all the Crips knew he wasn't bad. Well, he was bad in a good way. The streets knew in LA, and trust the Compton Southsiders in the 60s would have known he was actually a cool dude. That's what's up. That's what I like to hear, man. Hell yeah. Bobby Lynn said, I feel he was just a granddad helping a young man out, but the optics look bad. More shade provided. Yep. Yeah, it's like, bro, optics can be a killer, bro. Your intentions aren't always everything. Sometimes the way some shit looks, that's what Michael Jordan's dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? Is we don't know whether it's just the optics, because it's like the worst week ever to have a video come out where it looks like you grabbing a kid's meat, bro. Worst week ever to have it looking like you touching up on a kid, bro. And there was that shit at the Daytona 500 where Michael Jordan, another MJ, a video came out where it really looked like he was meat hustling a little kid's buns, bro. And then somebody came out, Bubba Army came out and said, well, I think it was ice down his shirt. I ain't seen no fucking ice, homie. They're like, well, the back of his shirt is wet. You're in fucking Daytona, my guy. I lived in Daytona for 10 years. You go outside, it don't matter what month it is, you gonna be sweating. It's hot and it's humid. They're at an outdoor event. I don't know what the truth is. All I know is it looks hella fucking bad. Sometimes the optics take over, so you got to be real conscious of what you're doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Michael said, huge MJ fan since I was a kid and huge metalhead. Yeah, I never believed MJ did anything sketchy to kids. Also, I have 12 years clean this Sunday. Hell yeah, brother. That's absolutely awesome. 12 years is incredible. You know, speaking of Michael Jackson, one of my homies, John Bravo from John Bravo TV, is a huge Michael Jackson fan. So maybe me and him will be able to work on something together talking about this more in depth, because he's vastly knowledgeable about all the lore of MJ, bro. He's a huge MJ fan. Grumpy Knuckles said, that's what we call a fish, JD. Doesn't understand the present danger. There's a reason we survived. Never slapped, spit on, or called a man a bitch, you know? Well, mainlining. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. 100%. And Grumpy Knuckles also said the jingling ice was chef's kiss. That's what I'm talking about. You hear the elbow hit and the ice just rolls around the glass, bro. That shit was dope. Yo, Sunshine, thank you so much, brother. Grumpy Knuckles also said on the main line, if we saw that, it's an automatic that he's forever a Vic, bro. I need that commissary and the remote, and for you to stay out of the day room. Watch your mouth. Hey, dude, like, seriously, if you get punked out like that in prison, my boy Grumpy Knuckles knows, bro. We both serve time here. If you get treated like that in prison, when somebody bitch slaps you and you don't fight back, you can get bitch slapped and fight back. And even if you lose, you still showed that you got some heart, right? But to take an open hand slap and not fight back, that's the mark of death in prison. You're forever a victim at that point. The dude that I spit a loogie in my hand and I slapped him in the face, bro, he was already on bad status, so it didn't really matter that much to him. But, bro, he was even more down bad after that, bro. For the rest of his time there, he was a victim, and he got fucked up a lot more because of that shit. Yeah, like Jason said, you don't fight back, you better fucking PC up, period. That's what it is, man. That's 100% what it is. Prison life is a little vicious, bro.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. He is smiling. He is. He's walking away from this guy, and this dude is just going ape shit on him. Oh, man. Man. And this guy just Kratos is walking away laughing.
That's crazy work, you guys. That's absolutely crazy work. I don't know that kid's coming back from that, bro. I don't care what type of boxer he is. Now, we were talking about my homie John Bravo. John has a whole video on that Larry Wheels guy. And this is it.
Because he's an asshole, I'm going to show it to you. But you know how I always say, get out your popcorn, your goobers, milk duds, me, the purple Skittles. I don't know if I could tell you that this time, because if you do, you may spit that shit out when I show you this shit.
So this is about the first guy, the bodybuilder, Larry Wheels.
Release the Larry files. And so if you want to know in full details exactly what's going on, remember, I'm not even going to say what he's done. It's far too gross for this channel. Type in the comment section, John released the Larry files. Look at Larry's face right here. I mean, are you even kidding me right now?
So recently, we see Larry on Kick live streaming, all over the place because he wants to join all the other assholes. He wants that Eddie Kick money, right? Because we know he doesn't have the money, even though he pretends he does. He can't even pay the guy back $50,000. Well, now we see him, right, with his wife, pimping out his wife all over for attention. And there's all this shit going around, why is Larry acting like a cuck, pimping out his wife like this? What's really going on behind the scenes?
Oh, no. Who did this?
Me.
Oh.
What?
Oh, remember when I said, and I haven't watched this yet. I haven't watched this yet. So, but remember when I said that dude's either a really calm and peaceful dude or he a cuck? He liked to sit in that chair and watch his wife get mammy rammed. Well, this is looking like big cuck energy to me, bro.
After all the memes that have been going viral on the internet, this is what you come up with?
Yeah.
While I'm on live?
And she just laughing at him, dog. She just laughing at him. Ugh.
Oh, that's funny. It's Myra, and he says, I see trouble in the rose. So that was like the second or third time he DM'd me, and then I sent his message because I heard what.
Bro really thought that he's about to cuck me.
Well, in one of those streams, Larry and his wife started talking trash, not about Greg Doucette, right? Because Greg made some videos back, but about Greg's girlfriend started making fun of her looks. And when Greg saw it, he said, you know what, Larry? You got personal with me. I'm going to get personal back. And in the past, I gave Greg a couple screenshots showing that Larry was really a cuck, and I knew it this whole time.
You say whatever you want to Coach Greg. I don't care. But when you go and attack my girlfriend for no reason, who did nothing wrong at all, well, you're...
So I got a question. Would you guys stay with her after what you've seen? Well, she's laughing at him. She's making AI pictures to make him look like a cuck. She's making fun of him in front of the entire interwebs. Would you guys stay with that chick? I just want to know.
You're then making it personal. And so since you want to get personal, I'm now going to talk about the things that I know and that I actually have proof. And so Larry Wheels is actually a cuck. Now, I'm not suggesting maybe. I'm not saying I think. I'm saying that I know. One day.
So look, you guys, out of respect for my good friend John Bravo, I don't want to play this whole video. I want to encourage you guys to go and watch this for yourself. Because if you want to know about Larry Wheels, there's a lot of mud there. There's a lot of mud there. But what we're going to do is we're going to look into the other dude, because he's been called out by Sean Strickland. And in my opinion, Sean Strickland is a fucking boss. I don't know what y'all think about Sean. I be liking Sean Strickland. I think he's an absolute fucking boss. He's, you know, he says some shit that's a little lot, you know what I'm saying? But he calls out the other dude. What was his name? Kiki, something like that. And I want to get into that, but real quick on that poll, 92% of men said they would not ride out with that broad after that vicious humiliation that she served her husband, which is, I just got to say, when my wife saw the video just of dude slapping dude, she was like, his wife was like smiling and shit. If it was me and some dude was grabbing at me, I wouldn't be smiling. I'd be spitting at the motherfucker. She was like, I call foul on that bitch, because Jax, my wife, is based as fuck. So we're going to go over here to X, and we're going to see what Mr. Strickland has to say about that Kiki dude. Here we go.
So you guys, I put a lot of thought in this video, and fuck it, we're doing it. What I'm saying, it's not fact. I can't prove it. This is an allegation. It may or may not be true. I will just tell you my story, and I will let you decide. So this guy Tiki, he is very connected with the UFC, and he manages everybody from Aljo. He manages everybody. So I was at a gym, and I don't need to go into details, but something really bad happened with a girl and a fighter. And at that point on, I was like, I will never go back to HB Ultimate. I will never go back to this gym. I think you are the worst of the worst. If you can do that, I'm done with you. So fast forward. Someone comes up to me and says, hey, Sean, you should really let Tiki manage you. He's a great manager. He's very connected. He'll make you a ton of money. And I say, you know what? I will never be in the same room with this guy, much less let him manage me. I don't care how much money he makes me. And there's a guy that heard the conversation. He says, you think that's bad? Let me tell you what he did with this guy's daughter, who I know I've known for years. And I'm like, oh shit, tell me. So he tells me, and I go to the guy that says, hey, you wanted me to manage this guy. Let me tell you this story. And this guy says, fuck, how did you know about that? Right? So I go on Twitter and I make a joke about, like I do. I say, hey, you know what? This guy's a groomer, potential pedophile. This is what I could. It's not confirmed. It's not slander. It's not defamation. This is just what I heard. So I get a word to the bird, the chain, that this guy is thinking about suing me for defamation, which I don't know how. I'm not saying you did or didn't. I'm just saying this is what I heard. So I reach out to the father of the girl. The girl is married, great life, has kids. And I say, hey, I will pursue this and I will go to court and I will crowdfund this whole thing. But I need to know if you're okay with it, if your daughter's okay with it. Because if you aren't, I'm not going to say one damn word. I'm going to let it die. So he gets back to me. He called his daughter. And his daughter, I guess, was pretty emotional about the whole thing. And she said that we 100% support you. And, you know, he said there are levels to it that she couldn't even talk about because it was that traumatizing to her. So this is what I know. Do I know if it's true? No. I know that I don't work with this guy. I know that I see this guy everywhere. I see him at events. I see him front row to fights. I see this man shaking hands everywhere. And I know this about him. Do I know if it's true? No. But I've heard it from credible sources, from the father. The girl would come forward. She's married, has a great life, and it's very painful for her. So it's, you know, it's going to be hard going to court, but she's willing to do it. So, Tiki, what I say to you is, if you want to sue me for slander, defamation, I am not slandering you. I'm not making this up. This is what was told to me by the girl's father. If you want to sue me, I will crowdfund this and we will go to court and I will fight you. And to the point of you suing me, trying to keep my mouth shut, to the point of that, I left that post up for about, I don't know, 3-4 hours. And I kept Googling Tiki. I kept Googling his name. When is someone going to write an article about what I said? And nothing. Crickets. I can't sneeze without the MMA press writing an article. and I drop a bomb like that and nobody says anything, that is how deeply this man's connected. That is how deeply you have to shut up and toe the line. But Tiki, I will not. I talked to the girl. I talked to the girl's father. We are willing to go to court. You can sue me. We will crowdfund this whole thing, and I will give every dollar that is not fought in court back to you guys or to the victim. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got to say. Bring it on, Tiki. I'm ready for you.
So, and here's the thing is, I don't think that Tiki is going to bust a grape in a food fight on a court case with this, because if he does, then everything's open to discovery and it brings more attention to this. So I don't know what exactly the allegations are. I don't know if they're true or not. I can't make that assessment. All I'm saying is there is this out there about him. And it's weird that within a day of seeing this slap and this elbow, that both these dudes have shit from the past that's been out there on them. It's kind of weird, you know? Serenity Gaming Studio said, disappointing that our world had an island full of ancient predators eating kids, and it wasn't Jurassic Park. Bro, why is that facts? Oh my God. Anthony Gavasso said, hi JD, just got back from church. Ash Wednesday for me. Can't have meat tonight. It sucks. I could go for a nice juicy burger right now. I get it, brother, but you're doing it because you're standing on your beliefs, and I'm proud of you, dog. Grumpy Nux said, yo, that Cartoon Network Johnny Bravo haircut is boss. All he needs is a box rolled up in his sleeves. Everything is getting exposed, JD. The V-neck sets it off. Yo, Bravo is cool people, bro. You would love Bravo. For real, dog. Tommy Boy said, JD, you the man. You always inspire me to strive to be better. That is a huge compliment, and I appreciate that. If you're in Bend, Oregon, I'd love to buy you a white monster. P.S. The pup in the pic is Frank. What a beautiful pup, bro. Oh my God, that pup looks like a bear cub. That is gorgeous, man. Yo, we go out to Bend every chance we get, homie. We're going to meet up, bro. It's going to happen. Corey, what's up, my sudsy bro? Good to see you, homeboy. Thank you for being here tonight. And Grump said, strict as a G. He has come to teach over here at Team Quest, and he is an absolute hoss. Learned a lot from him and his team, bro. I love him. And he will never not say what's on his mind, bro. He is absolutely that dude, 100%. So I've got some other stuff that I want to check out with you guys. And at this point, it's a little more random. We got some stuff from the files. We got just some weird stuff. Also, actually, while we're here, here's Tiki again. Let's check this out. This is Tiki with a woman on the beach. Let's peep game on this.
Bye, baby.
You know what you need? You need to be removed from the gene pool because you're too fucking stupid to be alive.
Yeah?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you have no hair, sweetie. Oh, baby.
Touch me. Fucking touch me.
That was all it took to set him off. You have no hair, baby. That was enough to get him all uppity. So what's he do from here to a woman? You guys, a woman. You gonna let... It's not like he don't own a mirror, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not even Wes Watson is this touchy. All she said was, you ain't got no hair, baby. And he starts yelling, touch me, like he wants to fight her. This dude is a big-ass dude, and he's a trained fighter. That's crazy as fuck.
Oh.
Fucking touch me. Fucking touch me. Touch me. Fucking touch me.
Bro, I can smell his breath, and it tastes like other dude's ball sack. I could smell his breath through the screen. This is the same dude. This is Tiki.
Touch me. Come on, hard ass. Get that phone out of my fucking face. I'm about this close. I'm about this fucking close.
Bitch.
I'm about this.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like good dude shit to me, bro. At all whatsoever. So we are now getting some people are going to be mad, I already know. But we're now getting some clips from the Dan Bongina Cash Patel crossover. We've got the cokehead and Derelict Dan here. Let's see what they're talking about, because they did a whole podcast and didn't mention the files once. The only thing people really want to hear about from these dudes who had access and were able to release all this shit and then decided not to after screaming about it on podcasts for years, and they don't say it. Yeah, I'm being really careful with words right now, Dr. Draylight. You already know. I had to go back and edit the last podcast, the last live I did, because I said a little too much. But let's see what they have to say.
We're going to look at the facts that exist. We're not going to try to make up facts that don't, so we can serve a political narrative. And wait till you, and I know you know this, but wait till you see what's coming in the next month or two on the funding streams related to this. You and I had launched a serious investigation. We had said these organizations don't operate alone, don't operate in silence. They operate with a heavy, heavy stream of funding.
That's super cool. Like, I definitely want to see some lower level people handling this Antifa shit, but we want to know exactly what the fuck you guys have to say about your failure to properly release those files. This is not the move, bro. This is not the move, because everybody else is talking about this. Everybody else is talking about this. I want you guys to hear this. It's confirmed E did have a connection to Ukrainian biolabs, and America was in fact lying about their involvement. Check this out.
Almost every so-called conspiracy of the past 10 years seems to be proven true. The more
and all connected to this one guy. He has connections with 9/11. He has connections with the vid, the jab. You know, he was talking with Gates years prior about preparing to release a pandemic and get people with the jab. He had said that he wanted to seed the earth with his DNA. We don't know now if they snuck something into that jab and if everybody who got that thing has dirty E DNA up in them. Bohemian Grove, yeah. Pizzagate, the whole sheboygan.
we dig into the Epstein files. Tonight, we're taking a look at the issue of Ukrainian biolabs, labs that we were told repeatedly over the past few years did not exist. They were nothing more than a Russia-funded conspiracy theory. For years, anyone who questioned government-connected biological research, biolabs, throughout Ukraine, studying viruses or diseases, or research into underground genetics projects, was brushed off as a crazy person. See, I was one of those people. Here's part of some of those reports from 4 years ago.
New and exclusive information about the Ukraine biolab story that some...
Bro, this dude predicted so much of this stuff. He reported on it when it was actually happening. And they canceled him for shit that now is being proved true. Bro, this dude was a boss from the beginning.
Media and politicians are still pretending don't exist. And now we have brand new information you're not going to see anywhere else because it's being scrubbed from the internet. Not only do we have new insight into what was inside of those labs, but also new information about the people working there, being given diplomatic immunity. And not only that, but that people living around some of those labs over the past decade have become sick with cholera and even swine flu.
Bro, so they gave them diplomatic immunity. They ended up with people around that area ended up with cholera and swine flu. You don't get diplomatic immunity working at a lab, bro. That's crazy as shit. Imagine you work at a biolab and you've got immunity from prosecution. What immunity means is that you can't be prosecuted for crimes. Why do you have to have immunity unless what you're doing is criminal?
Plus, do these labs have anything to do with the overthrow of the Ukrainian government in 2014?
Oh, hold on. We got a baby back, boy. User, you don't even have a name, bro. You don't even deserve the binky. You don't even have a name, and you want to come here and talk shit and got twatapulted within 3 seconds because we have the best mods on the damn internet here. That's crazy work, my guy. That's crazy. You got done dirtier than that dude who got open hand slapped. That's beautiful. Anthony Gavasso said, let's see him get so tough like that to a guy. He won't. Corey Graff said, as a Trump supporter, I know he's in the files. I don't want to believe he did anything wrong, but if he does, I will condemn it. But I will say, Pam Bondi, don't start getting down to business. Our justice system is screwed. I think the one thing we can all agree upon, regardless of political association, is that Pam Bondi is not doing her fucking job and she needs to be removed, bro. She needs to be removed. Pam Bondi is just a net L at this point. And I know people that are hard right, people that are hard left, people that are libertarians, everybody. Pam Bondi just made herself the most hated, bro. That's crazy. Anthony Cavasso said, who was the bald guy in the truck? Don't know if I know him. If I were him, I'd just keep driving or laugh it off. Exactly. That's Tiki. He's the dude who gave that dude the elbow in that video that we watched. That Dean, the great boxer guy. Gustav Frogan. Janis Joplin was on the list. J.E. was 17 when she died. See? Muddying the waters. Polluting the waters so we don't know exactly who it was that should actually be investigated. They're doing it on purpose, you guys. Grumpy Nux said, unfortunately, they're all liars. And those of us who tried to tell you were canceled and ostracized, told to shut up, yet we were providing all the info. The normies called us crazy, and now they are traumatized with shock. Yeah, bro. Yeah, if you put your faith in politicians, in the media, and if you put your faith in anyone but God, bro, it's a rude awakening, man. Love you, brother. Corey Graff said, why didn't Biden admin bring up I'm not going to say the word. I'm sick of the nonstop coverage of Nancy Guthrie and not what's in the files or all of the missing kids. Look, man, I don't know. I don't care why Biden didn't bring it up. I didn't expect him to bring it up. He was useless. He was a lame duck. He wasn't even in charge. I don't even know if he's still alive, to be real with you. But what Trump ran on was transparency and accountability, draining the swamp. And it sounds to me like when you talk about draining the swamp, I think a real great place would start would be getting all of the elite pedophiles the fuck up out of here, bro. So, you know, I wouldn't expect anything from Biden. I just wouldn't. But when it comes down to not just the kids, but all the other stuff in these files, bro, it's absolutely crazy that they're still trying to hide this stuff from us.
When he was a Burisma executive and his father was vice president, Hunter Biden's company, Rosemont Seneca, invested $500,000 into a San Francisco-based pathogen research company.
Well, there we go. As if the timing on that wasn't incredible. Maybe that's why Biden didn't want these things released and why he wasn't pushing to release them. Because his son, it comes out, was involved in these biolabs that they were talking about in the files. I mean, that would be a pretty fucking reasonable assumption. You're in the files. Brad McMillan got ousted really quick for saying I'm in the files. I looked myself up. I'm not in the files. When Kyle Rittenhouse hit me up and he's like, bro, why did DOJ include me in the files? I went and looked. But Brad, on your way out, since you got twatapulted like a little baby back boy, why don't you take a couple nips off the nippy on your way out, little guy? You mean.
Called Metabiota. I was actually one of the first reporters in the country to tell this story back in 2021. Hunter Biden introduced Metabiota to Burisma officials to negotiate the establishment of biolabs in Ukraine. During this time, Metabiota also received $24 million in funding from the Department of Defense, which included money for Ukrainian research projects. Although the U.S. government and its cheerleaders in the media screamed that the existence of U.S. biolabs in Ukraine were a Russian fabrication and conspiracy theories, the Pentagon and other U.S. government officials later admitted to the fact that 46 peaceful Ukrainian laboratories exist in the country.
Tonight, the Epstein emails are once again proving that things that we have previously been told were conspiracies were not. They were happening. And
yeah, Grumpy Knuckles, he's always been based and he got canceled for it. Most of the people that were truly based got canceled for it during the Biden era, bro. That's just what it is.
Once again, they were worse than we had previously thought. So much worse. Look at this. Emails show Epstein was heavily involved in Ukrainian biolabs, discussing do-it-yourself genetic experiments, including embryo implantation, sperm modification, and so-called biohacking with scientists.
And it's crazy because a lot of this stuff is the stuff he was talking about in the files, in emails, and he was having labs at his ranch, Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, where they were going to be producing babies in large quantities, you guys, large quantities of babies.
Consider what we're seeing here. These experiments include sperm modification, like modified to do what? We don't know. What was Epstein and his donors trying to create? See, there's another email that gives us maybe some insight into that. These detail plans for a proposed designer baby project, outlining funding needs and development strategies. The goal here, according to the email, to move from small-scale garage biology to the first live birth of a genetically designed human, or even a human clone.
Now that sounds a lot like eugenics to me, you guys. Like, this is straight up eugenics, what they're talking about doing here. And if they could do that, they could definitely do cloning. They could do cloning. You know what I'm saying? And we've also seen in the emails that these people are fucking racist, bro. So, like, I mean, they were talking about snipe hunting and used other sea crickets and the nuclear word. This is all some pretty caustic shit, bro.
Within just 5 years. Again, why is this happening? And specifically, why was it happening in Ukraine? Well, actually, that part's easy, because this kind of research is inhumane, it is unethical, and most importantly, it's illegal in the United States and most Western countries. Which is why all of this was happening in special places like Ukraine, where this could happen, but it was also happening under a huge cloud of secrecy.
So, do you guys think that it's a little sketch that since this, we've had so much money that we've given to Ukraine, so much fucking money that we've given to Ukraine, and they act like we like straight up 100% owe it to them? They have a snotty piss nose little attitude, like we're not going to do anything except keep funding them nonstop. Like, no appreciation, no gratitude, just I know, more money, Dad, more money, Dad. It's a little weird.
Which is why another email explains the need for secrecy. Read this one. Emails discuss whether financial backers would only participate if they were guaranteed that they could remain totally anonymous, fearing public exposure and massive reputational damage. So now the question, was Epstein simply running a criminal pedophile network? Clearly not. He was also pursuing radical human genetic experiments with global implications. And if these projects were real, and they certainly were, where would they happen? Remember this statement under oath 4 years ago from then Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian troops, Russian forces may be seeking this classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Again, at that time, questions about secret biolab activity were quickly dismissed as Russian disinformation. But now, in the light of Epstein's documented interest in genetic experimentation and his clear use of biolabs in Ukraine to carry it out, this is not a conspiracy anymore.
Yep, exactly. And look, you guys, this could explain why we pumped so much money. And for those of you who are wondering, this is Ben Swan. Ben Swan, he's over on X. He does great reporting. He's just nonstop with the killer reporting over here, getting tons of views on his great stuff. I have a lot of respect for Ben Swan and the things that he's been reporting, doing a great job. So I love this meme. This meme makes me happy. I need to send this over to Valhalla. He's going to love this. Clearly, this is Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. And the caption is, Dan Bongino, we did so good, bro. Kash Patel, yeah, bro. It was the best 9 months of my life. Dan Bongino, thanks for waiving my polygraph test, bro. Kash Patel, level 10 decision, bro. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And this I think is hilarious. I want to get into this. We're going to bring this up real quick.
I'm just curious what you do.
Come on, full screen this thing. Here we go. This is Clavicular talking to Pierce Morgan, and Clavicular is actually reacting to this clip.
I'm just curious what you genuinely feel.
Well, the thing is, Piers, I'm not political and I didn't play the song, so that's kind of all there is to it, right? And I find it quite silly to me that you're with the #1 looks maxer, and instead of asking how you could ascend so that, you know, your wife wouldn't tweet out captions like, "When my husband's away, Mr. Sud comes out to play," maybe if you asked me how to ascend, then that would stop happening to you.
So Pierce Morgan just wanted to ask him questions about why, when they were at the club, were they dancing to the Kanye West song HH? And instead, he just punks him out and says, basically, you're a cuck, and maybe you should ask me for advice on how not to be a cuck, which I think is a brilliant response.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so well, you're distracting, and that's fine. You're having fun. I've got no problem with that.
I loved that. I have a particular distaste for Pierce Morgan. Some of you guys might remember Tila Tequila from back in the day. And she was telling us all the way back then what was going on behind closed doors with celebrities and elites. And nobody was ready to hear it. They made fun of her. They said she was crazy. I believe she ended up in an institution, and it ruined her career and probably in a large way her life, because she came out and said this.
A lot of in the media, I don't know if they're still doing that today in the land of the living, but I know what I experienced when I went down there. They call themselves the elites, and what it means is the elites of like the satanic kingdom, and they do this thing with the all-seeing eye. As you notice, you know, in the past I had that all-seeing eye too, because I had to become one of them in order to come back and expose them, you see. So this wickedness, and for a while they're trying to keep me silent, but I'm like, wait a minute. You know, Satan's a liar, because he just wants me to be silent. Because we keep living in today's world, in the land of the living, and there's no justice anywhere. Like, where's the God of justice, right? It's because I kept silent all these years, but I'm not going to keep silent no more. But what goes on down there in Hollywood, I don't know if it's still going on today, because I don't want to accuse nobody. But what I saw, you know, I pray that everybody out there repents, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You know, and they have lots of sex, child trafficking rings. And they even have their own churches, but they're very satanic churches, and they do abominations. You know, they sodomize each other. I'm not going to get into details because it's so traumatizing to what I saw and experienced down there. But you know, the more power you have, the more fame you get, the more depraved things you have to do. So I don't know if they still do that today, like I said, but God our Father knows, God in heaven knows, the cloud of witnesses knows. So I pray, Heavenly Father, that if these things still go on out there, all over the world, all these elites, whatever they're trying to do like this, to be quiet, you know, that you will bring exposure to them and bring swift justice to the children's lives that were sacrificed, the children that are molested, because they often, you know, they were even like molesting 3-year-olds, and then they're asking me like, can we go even like lower, meaning like, can we have with a baby? And it was just so disgusting, guys. This is why I'm so traumatized, because like, oh, I can't believe, you know, it's very traumatizing. I can't even talk about it because it's so nasty. But, you know, in the Illuminati world, Hollywood, if you're still doing that today, I pray that Lord Jesus Christ, Heavenly Father, that you apprehend these criminals and bring them to justice, the ones who sacrifice babies, rape children, even in the government realm, the government officials, you know. But I don't know about the land of the living, but I'm going to have to testify anyways, because this is what I saw. It's like this huge, massive worldwide elite. They call themselves, and they molest children. They, you know, sacrifice. It's just nasty, guys.
So I want you guys to understand something. And I think this is really important for context, for perspective. Do you guys believe that pedophiles can be rehabilitated? I do not. I do not. I've seen them serve hefty prison sentences, get right out, reoffend. I've seen them get beat the fuck out of, and they go right back to doing the same thing. I don't think there's any way that you can rehabilitate them outside of the wood chipper, because dead pedos, they don't reoffend. So do you really think that just because these creatures that were doing this on this island, just because the island got broken up, that they stopped? No, this is still happening. They're still doing this somewhere else. It's like a junkie, bro. When I was a junkie, if my plug got busted, I didn't go get clean because of that. I went out and got a new plug. These people have just moved operations. And the victims themselves have said there were multiple islands. And we've only heard about one. We've only had one busted. So this was happening in Hollywood. This is happening in Washington, D.C. This is happening on islands. This is happening in other countries. This is happening around the world. And there's no way to rehabilitate these people. All you could do is put them out of our fucking misery. Period. Am I based or am I wrong on that? Let me know in the comments. The Omega Huerti. The Nancy Schaefer swamp is deeper than the E swamp. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up, homie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wild Dinah for life. Let's never forget about Randy Weaver and his family. I don't know who that is either. You guys are giving me so much that I need to look into. Richard, thank you so much. Now we know why Hunter was auto-pardoned on Biden's way out. Exactly. 100%. 100% correct there, my man. Big love. Delina, that's some Brave New World type stuff. Yep. Gustav, Hanks was in the files, not on the list. Yes, 100%. He is in the files. He's implicated in emails. And he's also implicated in a victim statement. And some pretty gnarly shit. Him and Jeb Bush were implicated in the same event. Politically Polite Russell just made a video on here about how Epstein's DNA operation was. Yeah, you guys should go check out Politically Polite Russell's video on the Epstein DNA debacle. Oh, that's Tansy. What is up, Tansy? Speaking of elites, JD, look into Gabrielle Rico Jimenez breakout and how she was arrested after she disappeared. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Metalhead, I feel like everything E has done pioneered long before him, not downplaying it, but I keep seeing more and more in common with the early 20th century Nazi spez conspiracy. It's eerie AF, no doubt. Well, and here's the thing. We know that he was heavily funded. We know who was funding him. It was America's greatest ally that was funding him, and specifically billionaires with deep ties with them. So it would only make sense that after all that dust cleared and settled, that they might jump in and want to continue some of that research. John, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Big love to you, my brother. Wood chipper. Oh, that's Tansy said, freak out, not breakout. Damn, spelling. Okay, I got you, fam. Serenity Gaming Studio. All these celebs' planes are publicly viewable. See which islands they all visit. Well, that's the next spot. So that's a good point, but you also have to look at, they're aware of that at this point. So when it comes down to it, you know that like even with Ghislaine, you can't look at just the flight logs because Ghislaine was a submarine pilot. She was a helicopter pilot. They have boats, they have yachts, they have ways around this stuff. So while that would give us some good ideas, it wouldn't be the end all be all. Grumpy Knuckles says, V has my Gmail. You are Irish or V, hit me up. I sent my brother to V. Chromes don't rehabilitate. Facts, bro. Chomos do not rehabilitate. I will get at you, brother. Big love and respect. You guys, I've been on here 2 hours. I'm going to jump off and go get myself some dinner. I love you. I appreciate you riding out with me tonight. We're going to be back at you real soon. And until the next one, it's always one love, baby. Be good or be good.